I'm back with another video, and in this video I'm going to search $100 in ones, a roll of half dollars, a roll of pennies, and that's all I was able to get from my bank, so that's what I'm going to search. I'm also going to use my Now Lucky Penny Dog screwdriver, and it has that infamous 43 at the end over here. Last time I used this, when I did my quarter box hunt, I got really lucky and I found a silver quarter and a W quarter. So it's not a lot, but for me it's a whole lot because that was my first silver found in a box hunt, and it's also my first W quarter found during a box hunt. So it was my first for a lot of things, and so this has become my new lucky charm here. So let's go ahead and get started with the ones. Now before we do, I'm just going to point out a few of the features found on the dollar bill, because I did say in my last video that I would do that. Now let's start off with the signatures. There are two signatures here. One is the Treasurers of the United States signature, which is on the left, and on the right you have the Secretary of Treasury signature. Right here you have the series date when it was printed. Also, these numbers right here, these little tiny numbers above the 4, that is the plate series number. And on the left side, that little number, that is the position. So that's the note number, position. Over here you have this seal, and that's the Federal Reserve seal. That's where this, the facility where this particular note was printed. And I don't know if I already said that, but this is the serial number right here. Also, this number 4 is the Federal Reserve District number. So I know that there are 12 different Federal Reserve banks that are responsible for the printing of these bills, and they are Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Cleveland, Atlanta, Chicago, Richmond, St. Louis, Dallas, San Francisco, and I think Kansas was one of them. And each of them is designated a letter, and those letters will run from A to L, A to L. And each of those will represent one of those Federal Reserve printing facilities where these guys were printed. So that's a little bit of what I learned about the front part of the bill. Now all of this you can find on the internet. It was not hard to find. Also, I found some of it in my new book. So it was pretty interesting. So now I kind of have an idea what each of these are. And so that will help me in the future as I do my hunts. So now I'm going to share with you my finds. Okay, so I'm going to start off with this bill. And the only thing I want to share about it is that there are 3 pairs found in here. You have the 9s, that's the first pair. You have a pair of 7s, and you have a pair of 1s. So that was pretty interesting. Nothing that I would keep, but it has 3 pairs. I thought that was something to share with you. They're not together, they're all separate, but nonetheless it had those pairs. Now the next note, the reason I'm sharing it with you is because this is something that's off-centered. If you look over here on the left, there is more white than there is on the right. Also on the bottom, the same thing. And if we look at the back, the reverse, the same thing happens. So it's off-centered. It's no biggie. A lot of the bills are like this, but there are some that are really, really cool. So keep an eye out for the really obvious off-center ones. I know that I've seen pictures on the internet of where they have like part of this off and then the other part of another bill in the back. So so keep an eye out. Always check the back. and the front, the reverse and the obverse, to see if you find anything that looks off center, really obvious. So that was another thing I wanted to point out. Now this next bill on the serial number checker had a 92.3, and it has 4 unique numbers. It has 1 triple, which are the 2s, and it has a pair of 9s. So this was pretty interesting with the 4 unique numbers. I like that little combination. But I probably won't be keeping this one either. Now this one scored a 96.1% on the serial number checker. Now this one is really interesting. Now this one I do plan to keep, only because I found it so interesting. Look at this. It has a run, a forward run, 0, 1, 2. It's only 3 numbers, but it has that forward run of 0, 1, 2. Then it has a backward run with the same numbers, 0, 1, 2. So I thought that was really cool. And so because of that, I'm going to go ahead and keep this one. Also, another thing that is interesting about this is that there are 3 pairs. So you can pair up the zeros, that would be 1 pair, the 1s would be another pair, and the 2s would be another pair. So that would be 3 pairs found on this. So this one, like I said, got a 96.1%, and will be one that I will be keeping because I found that forward and backward run, even though they're short. But to have one bill with both the forward and a backward run with the same numbers, that was really cool in my book. Now the next one scored a 93.8. It also has a run of 3 numbers, 1, 2, and 3. And then you also have 7 consecutive digits that are found in the serial number, which would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that was pretty interesting. It's cool. Had it had 8 consecutive numbers, I probably would have kept it. But instead, I'm just going to go ahead and throw it in the put back pile. This one was a 95.2, and I pulled it aside because I liked the fact that it had 4 1s. 4 1s together. So it had that quad of 1s. 1, 1, 1, 1. And then it had the 4, 9, 6, 2. This, just that part alone was just like, wow, to have 4 1s. And they're together, so I said, okay, I'm going to keep this one. I like the way that serial number looked. Now the next one is a 4 of a kind. And those are the 6s. It has 4 6s. It also has a triple of 3s. And another thing that made it interesting was that it had 2 pairs, the 3s together and the 6s together. And also this one, if I'm not mistaken, let me see, that's one. This one would be a trinary also. There's only 3 numbers in the serial, which would be the 3, the 4, and the 6. So this is also a trinary note, because the serial number is only made up of 3 numbers. Again, the 3, the 4, and the 6. So because of that, I'm going to go ahead and keep this one. I usually keep the trinaries. On the next bill, this one got a 98.9%. You have 5 of a kind, so I have 5 9s on this note. So here I have a triple of 9s and then a double of 9s. So that's 5 9s. I also have a pair of 8s found in here. And this is a trinary, plus it is also a bookend. It starts with 8 9, and then the number reverses to 9 8. So it has the first 2 digits and the last 2 digits the same. in a different order, but they're the same numbers. So this one I will definitely keep. This is one of the better finds in my search today. Another bookend note with 4 unique numbers is this one. Same thing. This one has 8-6 and 6-8. So that was really, really cool. I like that. That was really, really awesome. Now I'm going to move on to the next one. On the next one is also a bookend. 7117. This one got a 95.7 on the fancy serial number checker. It also has 4 unique digits. It has a triple of 7s. There's 1, 2, 3 7s. It also has 2 pairs. It has a pair of 1s and a pair of 5s. So this one was pretty interesting. I usually keep the bookends. I find that to be interesting. Then I have some star notes. This one did very poorly on the fancy serial checker. It got a 57.7. I checked it on the rare star notes, and it's not rare at all. It's not a rare print. In fact, this was printed in Fort Worth, and according to what the mycurrency.com says, this was printed back in April of 2019. So this is not too old of a note, this reprint. Here's another reprint, also known as a star note. It also did poorly. It's not a rare star note. This one was printed at the DC facility, and this was November of 2014 when it was printed there, according to the information I found. It does have a pair of 6s and a pair of 0s, but really it doesn't have anything special going on it, other than it's a star note. Here's another star note. This one scored the best out of the ones I found. And this one was, actually this is second best. This is an 81.6. And there's nothing rare about this one. It does have a 666 in the serial number, but that's about it. The next star note, same thing, has a 666. It's not rare at all, but it did score an 81.7. So, not bad. Now these next notes, or I should say this next note, is a flipper. Now, true flippers are 0s, 6s, and 9s. This one does have a 1, and it does have an 8. So they're what they call latent collectors. They'll let that pass. They'll let that pass, the 1s and the 8s. They'll accept them. But a true flipper would be the 6s, the 0s, and the 9s. So this is not a true flipper, but it is a flipper. It is accepted by the community. And this one got an 80.6% on the fancy serial checker. And what I mean by a flipper is if I turn it around, the 1, even though it has that little mark, they'll still accept it. But the 9 becomes a 6, the 8's an 8, the 6 becomes a 9, then you have the 1, the 0, and then... So no matter how you flip it, they'll read a number. And that's why they call them the flippers. It's pretty cool. It's a little bit bent corners here, but overall it's not torn or anything, so it's actually fairly good shape. And then the last find is this one. We got a 95.1 on the fancy serial checker. It does have 4 unique numbers, or digits I should say, and it has 4 pairs. It has, you can get a pair of 7s, a pair of 1s, a pair of 8s, and a pair of 9s. So I thought that was pretty cool that they all paired up. And because they each have a pair, I'm going to go ahead and keep that. Because that was pretty interesting to have 4 pairs. And 2 of the pairs were together, the 11 and the 88. The 2 8s and the 2 1s, those pairs were together. The other ones you have to kind of match search them up. So that's what I pretty much found as far as my $1 search. When I search these 2 rolls, I'm only going to be looking for certain things. On the roll of half dollars, I'm going to look for the missing F, G, and I'm also going to be looking for silver half dollars. And as far as the penny roll is concerned, I'm going to be looking for Wheaties, the 2009 pennies, and the ones that have the closed AM or the wide AM. So I'll be looking for those. So I'm going to go ahead and search, and I will be back with my finds. But not to be rude, I'm going to go ahead and open on camera this one, because I'm pretty sure everybody's just as curious as I am if one roll is enough to find at least one half dollar. So wish me luck. Let's see what we get here. Okay. The moment of truth. I don't see anything. Nothing there. I do see a dark one. And please forgive me, I will sanitize. I do have my sanitizer here. So I'll sanitize my hands as soon as I touch this, and I'll go wash them. But there is this dark one here. I think it's just a dirty. I don't think it's anything. Yeah. It's an 83. So I'm going to go ahead and go through these and see if I find anything special. And then I'll be back with my reveal of what I found. So, I'll go wash my hands. Alrighty, I am back. I used my Couch Collectibles mat here to help me figure out what I needed to look for. And I did get quite a bit of stack of bicentennials. These are really cool design on the back. Very, very cool design. So I did find quite a stack of that. Other than the 1976s, I did have a few 79s. Nothing special there. I had an 83 and an 89, I believe it was. Let me see. Yeah, an 89. Again, nothing to look for. I had some 90s. Again, I checked my book and I looked at the mat. I didn't find anything in the 1990s. I only had 2 of them. There were dates that I needed to look up because these have a double die obverse, and as far as I could tell from my phone camera, I didn't see anything. But I will be putting these under the microscope, but I really don't think that the 1971D or the 1974D had any errors on them, as far as I could tell. But I'll be putting these under the microscope. So that's a wrap for the half dollars. So now let me go ahead and move on to the penny. So I'll be back. Okay, I'm back after going through that penny roll, and just like the half dollar one, it was pretty much a skunk. The only good thing was that this 1969S, I don't think I'm going to be able to focus on it, but this is a 1969S, will be an upgrade in my book. So that was about the only cool thing. I did get, along with that one, I did get 3 copper ones. A 1961D, a 72, and I believe that was a D also, and a 1980. So I did get those. I did get some that you needed to check for double die obverse, and I looked at them. They didn't have any. And here I had some varieties with the closed AM and the wide AM, and I verified and there was nothing, and these were just pretty much your regular pennies. So this was also very disappointing hunt. I was hoping to find more, but that upgrade, I'll take that upgrade. That will help. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm back with a wrap-up, and as I was getting ready, I noticed that this one had an interesting fold to it. And I tried to straighten it out, and so I'm not sure what happened there. Someone had it folded that way for a long time that it became stuck. It doesn't seem like there's any missing print or anything, but that is a very, very tight fold. It won't come undone. So I hope you enjoyed it. I did find a lot of interesting notes as far as the dollar bill search went. Over here, aside from the upgrade on the penny of the 1969S for my book, that was also pretty cool, and some copper. Over here, I did like the bicentennials. I do like to keep them and stuff. And these guys, I'm going to go ahead and look at them under the microscope just to double check, just to make sure. But as I can obviously tell, there is nothing there that shows any type of doubling. So, but I'll double check just to make sure. And I'll wash my hands, I promise. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Stay safe, take care, and bye everyone.